Did you know that one of the most fascinating and unique human reactions is blushing? In just moments of embarrassment, attraction, or intense emotional triggers, your cheeks are suddenly painted in bright shades of red. But why does this happen? Today, on another episode of Why Facts, we're diving deep into this colorful phenomenon. Why do we blush? And I promise you, by the end of this video, you'll never look at blushing the same way again. To start with, before we know why we blush, we must first ask, what is the mechanism behind blushing? Blushing is fundamentally connected to our body's fight or flight response. This physiological reaction exists because of our sympathetic nervous system, which gets activated during emotional stimulation. When we find ourselves in a socially awkward or high-stakes moment, our brain essentially floods our system with adrenaline. Now, adrenaline here plays a dual role. It makes your heart race, preparing your body to either face the challenge or escape it. But more importantly, it dilates your blood vessels. For most parts of your body, this is not externally noticeable. But here's where it gets interesting. Your face, thanks to an abundance of capillaries just beneath the skin, reveals this through a red tint. Blushing. Now let's break this down further. The real master behind this art form is our brain, particularly the hypothalamus. This small but powerful region in our brain manages many automatic functions, including temperature regulation and our fight-or-flight system. When the hypothalamus signals your adrenal glands to release adrenaline, that in itself is not the end game. Oh no, it's more nuanced than that. Adrenaline widens your blood vessels, specifically those prevalent in the face, ears, and neck. Why? To allow more blood flow. This can make these structures flush with oxygen-rich blood, causing that pinkish to reddish hue. Interestingly enough, evolution played a role in how we got here. Many scientists and psychologists suggest that blushing might have evolved as a non-verbal way of communicating with those around us. In moments where words might fail, blushing silently reveals emotions such as guilt, shame, or attraction. Essentially, our red-tinged cheeks say everything our words cannot. Can we, however, control blushing? The short answer is no. The sympathetic nervous system operates autonomously. You can't willfully decide to stop blushing. In fact, the more you think about it, the more intense the blushing can become. This endless loop happens because your conscious thoughts evoke even stronger emotional responses, which lead the hypothalamus to keep releasing that adrenaline. Here's where we make a curious psychological leap. Did you know that not all humans are equally prone to blushing? The phenomenon of blushing is noticeably varied across individuals due to genetic influences and personality types. Those who are more socially sensitive or introverted often blush more because their brain processes social situations more intensely. On the other end of the spectrum, some people physically cannot blush. This condition, called facial adrenergic dysfunction, results from a limitation in how their sympathetic nervous system interacts with facial blood vessels. Fascinating, isn't it? But let's ask another important question. Why does love or attraction sometimes trigger blushing? Well, this traces back to our evolutionary biology. When you feel drawn to someone, your body unconsciously activates similar fight or flight systems. It's as if your biology prepares itself to make a strong impression. Reddened cheeks signal interest, awaken social bonds, and, believe it or not, even make you more attractive to others. Scientific studies have actually shown that a slight blush can amplify your perceived warmth, likability, and even approachability. All right, this next part is where it gets pretty philosophical. Charles Darwin, in his book, The Expression of the Emotions in Man and Animals, declared blushing as the most peculiar human emotion. He argued that no other species blushes. Yep, no cats, dogs, or chimpanzees, only humans. So why did evolution single us out? Many psychologists theorize it might stem from our uniquely complex social environments. In human society, where trust and vulnerability build relationships, blushing may serve as a physical indicator of sincerity. Imagine apologizing for a mistake while blushing. The other person is far more likely to perceive you as genuinely remorseful than if your face remained unchanged. Now hold on. For those of you low-key thinking, what if I blush too much? There is such a thing. Excessive blushing is termed idiopathic craniofacial erythema, and it's a condition where your blushing happens far more frequently and intensively than in regular situations. This can be a socially uncomfortable thing to deal with, but there are methods to cope with it. This ranges from mindfulness and breathing techniques to manage anxiety to therapeutic interventions. So, if embarrassment feels like your default state, you're not alone, and science has resources to help. Another mind-blowing revelation about blushing is how context-dependent it is. Imagine you're blushing because someone pointed out something embarrassing you said. Now picture yourself equally red-faced, but from scuba diving or drinking hot tea. Both experiences involve facial redness, yet their roots differ. The first is from emotional stimulation, while the latter could indicate blood vessels opening due to heat. Isn't it insane how our body's response can be misinterpreted across settings? But what about when we want the redness to fade away? Here's a tip. Practice temperature and environment control. Cold compresses or taking deep belly breaths can help slow down capillary dilation and restore that normal, even tone to the face. Fun fact, William Shakespeare even made references to blushing in his works, associating it with innocence, guilt, and truth. In Othello, Desdemona's blush is described poetically as her modesty and virtue being displayed on her face. It seems poets, scientists, and philosophers alike have long pondered the mystique behind this humble human feature. As we near the end of today's exploration, we must ask, could there come a day when humans no longer blush? With modern technology and evolving societal norms, our natural responses continue to adapt. If communication eventually becomes entirely digital, would there even be a need for this physical signal? Only time will tell. And there you have it. Blushing, a seemingly simple yet incredibly intricate process with biological marvels and evolutionary significance. So the next time you find yourself blushing, whether from flirting, an awkward comment, or just someone staring a bit too long, remember, it's as natural and human as breathing itself. And guess what? It also makes you unique. Make sure to hit that like button if you've enjoyed today's video. Let us know in the comments what makes you blush the most. Subscribe for more unbelievable why facts, and we'll catch you next time. Bye for now.